Hello, my name is Teddy, and today I'm going to look at sets as data types in Python. So we can define sets by saying that these are data types containing data in collection format, and the data in that collection is unindexed and unordered, and will not find any duplicates in that data set. So we can give examples of primary colors as sets of colors. So they are red, blue, and yellow. You can have vowels and consonants as a set of alphabets. We can also have different kind of fruits as a set of fruits. We can also have even and odd numbers. So you never find duplicate of 2 or 3. You just find one, okay, in that set. So we are going to look at different operations carried out on sets, how we can create sets, how we can update, access elements, count, and other operations, okay. So stay tuned as we get started. Based on this diagram, we are going to explain a few concepts to do with sets. So I'm going to demonstrate using a school. First, a school is empty, so we are going to create an empty set. Then also going to demonstrate in code how to add, let's say, form 1, form 2, then the data. Okay, so these are our students. These are the student in the first class, the second class. Okay, so let's demonstrate this using code. Okay. So I'm going to start with the syntax of how to create a set which is empty and a set that has elements. So assuming we have a set of students in a school, so we say students equals, so student stands for a variable, and then we assign it the following values. So for an empty set, you add double or single quotes, okay? So if we print students, just to output the data, what are you going to get? We're going to get a null set, okay? So if we try and check the type of data that we are printing, we have a set, okay? So if you try and remove these quotes, it will give you a dictionary, which we'll discuss in the next chapter, in the next tutorial. So it's good that you have double quotes or single quotes inside the curly braces, okay? So next we're going to demo how to create students with values. So you can say students equals open quotes, then you say n1 for names, n1, also can have n2, that's another person, then you have n3, that's another student, then you have n4. Okay, so that's how you create a set with elements in it. So if you print students, you're going to get n1 up to n3, okay? So as noted, you can see we use this format n1, n2, n3, n4, but the output is n2, n1, n4, n3. So sets do not have any order, okay? So that's it. The next thing that we are going to look at is how to create a set using a function or a keyword called set, okay? So I'm going to say students equals, just comment this, then you say set, okay? And then that's a function, so use round brackets. So to add data, you add other round brackets, then you say n5, okay, then n6. So if you print students, okay, you're going to get n5 and n6, okay? So if you check the type, it should give you, or the type of data is going to give you a set, okay? So that's a set. So those are the 2 or 3 ways of how to create sets in Python, okay? So next we're going to look at how to add elements to a set. So we're going to look at how to add one, then how to add many elements at one time to a set, okay? So we use the add method. So we can say student dot add, then you say n5, okay? Then if you print students, what are going to get? We're going to get that n5 is added to the set. Okay, if you want to add many, you use update method. So I'm going to say students dot update, and then inside you pass a sequence of elements. So you use square brackets which carries a sequence of elements. Then you say n, what did we have up here? N6, N7, let's go by N8. Okay, so if you run this, we are going to get that the elements have been added: N7, N6, N8 and N6. Okay, so that's how we add multiple elements to a set. Okay, so next we're going to look at how to count the number of elements in a set. So we're going to use len or len function to count. So I'm going to say num is equals to len students. Okay, so if we print our num, to just comment this students, it's going to give us what? It's going to give us 8. So we have 8 elements in our set. Okay, so we're going to look at the next. We're going to look at how to access elements in a set. So now that our data is not indexed and there is no particular order in which the elements are in our set, we're going to use a for loop, or we're also going to use an in function to check if an element exists in our set. Okay, so let's start with in function. So we're going to say if n what n1 in students. Okay, we're going to say print element exists. Okay, also going to say else print element does not exist. So just to note, I'm using PyCharm as a text editor. Okay, so there element exists. But if we change this to n10, it's going to tell us element does not exist. Okay, so that's one way of accessing an element in a set. The second way, we are going to use a for loop. So we're going to say for I in students. Okay, print I. So it's going to print all the elements. So it's n1 or n8 up to n1. Okay, so there we have our data. So that's another way of accessing elements in what? In a set. Okay, next we're going to demonstrate how to remove or delete elements from a set. Remove elements from a set, or either delete the whole set. So let's look at how to delete the whole set. You say del keyword then students. Okay, so if you print students, you're going to get an error. The student is not defined because I've deleted it. Okay, so it's going to tell you students is not defined. Okay, because I've deleted students. So next we're also going to look at how to remove an element from our set. Okay, so I'm going to say students dot remove, let's say n what, let's bring this down, let's say n8. Okay, so if you print our students, let's copy this, we're going to get what? There's no n8 in our set. Okay, so that's one way of removing an element from our set. So let me just comment this. Another way is using pop. Say students.pop. So if we run this, we're going to get n1, n2, there's no n3, so it has removed one of the elements from our set. Okay, so that's how pop works. It removes a random element from our set. Okay, then another thing to look at is discard. You can say students dot discard. Now let's say n what? N7. Okay, so if we print our students, we're going to get n7 is not there. What if we discard something that does not exist? let's say 14. What happens? We do not get any error. What if we go back and remove, we use the remove function to remove an element that does not exist? What happens? You're going to get an error, okay? You're going to get an error. So remove gives you an error, but discard does not give you an error. So that's the distinction between remove and discard, okay? Next, we are going to look at how to clear or make our set become empty. So we use what we call clear keyword. So we can say students dot clear, okay? We'll find that our set will be empty. So it's going to give a set which is empty, does not have any data, okay? So we have exhausted all options of removing elements, clearing our set, and those kind of operations. Hope you are following along. So next, we are going to look at how to copy a set into another. So let's say we have z equals to students dot do it dot copy, okay? So if we print z, what are we going to get? If we run, we're going to get an empty set. So let me remove this clear and run. We're going to get n7, n4. So we're going to get data similar to the one that we have up here for our students, okay? So that's how we copy a set into another. Okay. So next, we are going to look at how to join two sets. So we're going to create two sets and say maths club. If we have a maths club in a school, we are going to give it a set of n1, n3, let's say n4. Then we have a science club that has, let's say, n3, n5, and n2, okay? So how do we join the two sets into one? Let's say math science club is equal to maths club dot union over science club, okay? So that's how we join two clubs or two sets. So if we print our math science club joined, what are we going to get? We're going to get n3, n1, n2, n3, n4, and n5, okay? So this means that we have joined our two sets. So next, we're also going to look at other operations. We are going to check if we do what we call intersection of the two clubs, what happens. So there's another operation that is called intersection, where we check which of the elements is in both sets, okay? So we are going to say now, let's say if we check our club here, maths club, we have n3. If we check our science club, here we have what? n3. So this means this student is in both clubs, okay? So if we intersect the two sets, the common one will be n3. So that's what we are going to get as our result. So if whatever we do, we are going to create a new set and say common student in the two clubs will be maths club dot intersect or intersection of science club, okay? So if we print our common student, that common student is going to be n3. So that's how we do intersection, okay? So just remember that we have created a new set and then assigned him that student. What if now you want to update the maths club so that it remains only with the new student, okay? So we are going to say maths club dot intersection update science club, okay? So if we print our maths club, we should be able to just to get one person, which is n3. So we have updated our maths club just to have one person. If we intersect the two and then update the maths club with the result, then we get that result in our maths club. Okay, so that's how it works with the intersection. So next we're going to look at another operation called difference. So we're going to check which students are in the maths club that are not in the science club. Okay, so we use an operator or a function called difference. So we're going to say z equals to maths club dot difference science club. Okay, so if we run or we print our z, so remember that we have assigned a new variable or created a new set z. So if we run this, we are going to get n1 and n4. So you'll notice that n1 and n4 are not in the science club, okay, except for n3. So if you want to update our maths club with the new values, or with the just to get the difference between the two clubs, we are going to say maths club dot difference update with what? With the science club. Okay, so just remember that we are not creating a new set, we are just updating the values that we found up here to our maths club. So if we print our maths club, it should be able just to have two values, which is n1 and n4. Okay, so that's what happens when we do the difference between two sets. Okay, next we're also going to look at what we call symmetric difference between two sets. Okay, that simply means we are going to get all the elements in the two sets except the common ones. Okay, like in our set maths club and science club, we are going to get n1, n4, n5 and n2 without the common one, which is n3. Okay, so use what we call symmetric difference. So we're going to create a new set, or initialize a new set, and say x equals to maths club dot symmetric difference science club. Okay, so if we print our x, what are you going to get? We're going to get 4 items. Okay, 1 2 3 4 except the common one. Okay, so if you want to update our maths club with the new value, okay, we say maths club dot symmetric difference update. Okay, science club, so that when we print our maths club, it's going to give us n1, n5, n4, n3 without n1, n5, n4, n2 without n3. Okay, so that's how we do our symmetric differences. Finally, we're going to look at if one set contains all the elements that are in another set and vice versa. So we call it a superset, and the other one is called a subset. So we are going to say A equals to 1 2 3 4. Okay, then B equals to 1 and 2. Okay, so this means that B, all the elements in B are in A and vice versa. Okay, and some of the elements in A are in B. Okay, so this means that A is a superset of B and B is a subset of A. Okay, so let's just check that. We say print A dot is superset of B. If we print that, what are you going to get? A true, right? This means A is a superset of B, and if we say B is a subset of A, if it's true, then it means all the elements in B are in A. Okay, so there's it. Just a recap, we have looked at different operations that can be carried out on sets. So if you have any question, kindly put in the comments below. If you have any insight, also put in the comments below. If you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, also subscribe. You can also share with friends, because knowledge is about sharing. Thank you, and see you in the next tutorial when we look at dictionaries or dicts. Thank you.